wars and rumors of wars. Giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakah Kodash. Someone had sent me put a comment in one of the videos that I had recently put up. I'm not on that page, but devoted to that brother. And basically, he just put in Biden, shoots missiles on Syria. So what I did was I just put in Biden and a bunch of videos popped up, as you can see on the screen there. CNN International: Biden orders airstrikes on Iran-backed militias in Syria. So he's attacking Syria, but there's a group that are in Syria that are backed up by Iran, which means that they are also backed up by the former Soviet Union, which is Russia. So if it gets hot, you're going to have Iranian troops down there, which are the ancient biblical Persians. That's the kingdom, the second kingdom after the Babylonian rulership. You had the Medo-Persians. The Persians are the people of Iran today. The ancient name are the Elamites. Also the Persians. They were also known as the Persians. So they're back in, prophecy again. This is nothing but, what is that? Ezekiel 38 speaks about Iran. As a matter of fact, I did say if this Syrian militia is backed by Iran, then Russia will be backing them. Now we know that the destruction of this place is not going to come until, and we always say it, until the mark of the beast is made mandatory throughout the whole planet Earth. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right to, what did I say I was going to go? Yeah, I'll go to Ezekiel, go right to the source. Yeah, I typed in the word war and the blue letter, and the word war occurs. And this is just the Old Testament, 225 times in 220 verses. So I'm going to go real quick to Ezekiel 38. We're in the time of prophecies. Okay, if you go to the blue letter, it says prophecy. Ezekiel 38, verse 1, it says prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. We should have put America. The least of them shall draw them out. So we know Israel is involved in one way or another. And I believe that the U.S. is doing the bidding of, the Israeli government, whether it's the secret government or what. But this is all prophecy. I mean, I hope they're opening up the Bible, the scriptures. I'm not going to read from the top. I'm just going to get right to the point. I'll start the 4th verse. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And this is talking about Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, which is your modern military apparatus, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And the modern day swords are the missiles. You're going to have low cruise missiles, Scud missiles, ICBM, which are intercontinental ballistic missiles. Fifth verse, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomar and all of his bands, the house of Togarmah of the North Quarter, and these are these other European, like Turkey. This always happens, the fucking phone rings. Turkey, give me 1 minute. What? I'm just here. All right. Yeah, forgive me. Yeah, I was reminded I had to do something. Anyway, it says, so you're going to have Russia and these other European nations such as Turkey, Germany, France, which they have spoken of in their ancient biblical names, which I said, these this is the time to get in contact. The U.S. government should get in contact with us so we can tell them what's going to happen, because this is going to lead to the utter destruction of Babylon the Great in this current system. And your destruction, as I went into in a previous video the other day, and I was going into Revelation the 17th chapter concerning these shall hate the whore. And that was the name of the actual video. So ultimately, these European allied nations of the U.S. will shoot missiles on America as well. Eat her flesh with fire. And so Biden, I mean, he's not even 2 months in office. No, I'm saying he's a month and a couple of days, because he was sworn in on January 20th, and here it is, February 26th. 2021 year of the hastening of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So we hope that everything happens this year. We hope that we're out of here. Hopefully we'll be keeping the Passover and the new high holy day in the kingdom. The new high holy day is in Jeremiah. Let me get that real quick. Like I said, this is getting a little long, but I just wanted to hit on this. But Ezekiel the 38th chapter is a scripture that speaks about how they're going to really attack Israel. The U.S. is going to get involved, and that's going to be game over. But before that happens, the mass chipping has to take place first. Now we sound like a broken record because we're in that time, so we're going to keep speaking on these same handful of scriptures. It speaks about the Carmanians in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, if not the 16th chapter, I believe it's the 15th chapter. The Carmanians, when you look up the Carmanians was an ancient name for the people of Iran, which are the Persians. Now, I said I was going to go someplace else. What did I? Wow, I can't. Give me a second here. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Oh, the Northern Army in Joel 2. I removed the Northern Army to a land barren and desolate. So these are the scriptures that you're supposed to be going into. Or another one, Joel 3. Let me read that real quick. Joel 3. And Joel 3, we normally go straight to the ninth verse, but you can read the first verse because this is talking about how the kingdom of Judah was taken into captivity by Esau, and that the Arab nations, some of the Arab nations was involved, and ultimately for doing that, they, give me a second. That's why it's good to read whole chapters. It's good to bring out precepts, but you got to read these whole chapters. Like, for example, this guy, Bishop Nate, he said a couple of years ago on an interview that there's no such thing as Jacob's trouble. Well, it's in the scriptures. Now, if he was to do a word search and put in Jacob's trouble, it would lead him directly to Jeremiah 30. Now, you read that whole chapter, and it's talking about the time that we're living in now, and that's in the midst of Jacob's trouble. So, but he reversed himself. All right, he reversed himself, and he basically said that we didn't hear it right. We know how that dude rolls. We know how he gets down. But, us, we always checking and double checking and triple checking the scriptures. If we're going to teach you something, we're going to make sure that we, do the research and do the study. Of course, the Most High is going to give us this through the Spirit, but you study. The scriptures say, study to show thyself approved. A workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Rightly dividing the word of truth means what? Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. So when you go to Joel 3, like I said, you read the whole thing. It's definitely speaking about us going into captivity to Babylon the Great. And what made Babylon the Great was the slave. Part of it was the slave trade. America became great and rich mainly through the South, through slave labor. This is what made America great. So here's the big argument about the reparations, because we need reparations. But you know what? You can have you can have your substance, because we're going to get it any goddamn way. And pure and true reparations is Revelation 13:9-10. He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. That's true reparations. True reparations is if I enslave somebody for 10 years, I got to be enslaved for 10 years by that person. So Esau, they know that their future is captivity. Let me start from the 8th verse, Joel 3, verse 8, and I'll close. It says, I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. And we're going to have, we're not going to put all the nations in captivity on the same level. Esau's going to get it the worst, but these other nations are going to be under us. They're not going to catch hell like Esau is going to catch hell. And we're going to have taskmasters. We're going to use other nations to be taskmasters over Esau. And Esau is not going to have no land, because they're going to be similar to the Levites. They're going to be scattered all over the place among Israel doing the bidding of the Israelites. So what happens after that? What is the payback? 9th verse. So this switches gears. For all they did from verse 1 to verse 8 and Joel 3, this is what's going to happen. And we're in this time right now. Joel 3 verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And what Biden did is basically, one step towards that. It said, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Take your farming tools and put the money for farming tools and put them into weapons, because the Most High is gathering all the nations for war. Let the weak say I am strong. Let weak nations, third world nations say they are strong. What's the equalizer? The missiles, the missile technology. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen, all ye nations, and gather yourself, and all you nations that possess missiles, together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, are the angels. That's in Revelation 9 and Revelation 16, because the angels stir things up. Let me go to that. I didn't want to make this long, but it's getting long. That's all right. Let's go to Revelation 9. And, you people out there you men out there that are weak, if you're weak, the scriptures are not making any sense to you. If you're weak at this time now, when all hell is getting literally, the prophecies are popping off like popcorn. If you can't see that the mark of the beast is right here now, if you can't see that the destruction is going to come, the war of Armageddon, or gather into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, because Revelation 16 doesn't say war of Armageddon. What we call it the war of Armageddon. It said they will be gathered into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, Hamagadwan, which is the mountain of truth, mountains of troops. And that's in the Levant. And Syria is a part of the Levant. Iran is part of the Levant. Look that up. Okay, where did I say I was going to go? Okay, it says here, if you go to the blue letter Revelation 9 verse 12 and 13, in the middle of that is the headline, the sixth trumpet army from the east. It says, and the sixth angel sounded. What does it say in Joel 3? Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Who are the mighty ones of the Lord, of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai? The angels. So it says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and for a day, and for a month, and for a year, for to slay the third part of men. The third part of men represent the sons of the wicked. Esau's system. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And the number of the army, the horsemen, were 200,000. That represents the warheads. You got certain groups say it's talking about angels. Esau would say it's talking about the Chinese. No, it's talking about the missiles. But that's all I'm going to read. That's all I'm going to read. But we're living in that time. We damn sure living in that time. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.